It's the #1 sold crossover SUV in its segment. I mean, when people come in, the reason why they come in for the CRV is because of its reliability factor. I mean, they know it's a good car, they know it's a long-lasting vehicle, one of the vehicles that they can keep for the next 10 years or so, and still hold up very well over the next 10 years and still feel as new as it did when they first bought it. Usually they come from a bit of a smaller vehicle. Honda customers usually have a tendency, from what I've seen, to step up every time they purchase a vehicle. Start off with the Civic, they move up to the Accord. Once they get the Accord, they move up to the CRV because it has all the niceties of the Accord, but it has four-wheel drive, a little bit higher off the ground, more space for cargo. This is a 2.4-liter four-cylinder motor with 180 horsepower. It's a Honda's iVTEC system. What it does is it opens and closes valves depending on the amount of work that you need the motor to do. For instance, if you're accelerating on the highway, the valves open up a little bit more. So you get a little bit more mixture, so you get a little bit more power as you're hitting the gas. And once you hit the speed that you're, well, let's say the speed limit, and you just cruise at that particular speed, it closes the valves a little bit just so that you're helping save fuel, because you don't need all that power as you're driving, as you're cruising at that particular speed. So helps save you a lot of fuel there. I mean, Honda is very mindful of what people want instead of what is simple. For instance, like the rear hatch opens upwards, not in a swing door like the RAV4 does. If it's a swing door, it makes it a little bit harder for curbside loading and such. I mean, you have to worry about which way you're approaching the vehicle. The CRV always goes up, so it doesn't matter how the car is parked. You just walk up to the back, pop open the hatch, and you don't have to worry about where your grocery shopping cart is at. It's very secure, does very well in the snow, bad weather conditions, but mostly it's just, I mean, people that don't need all the space of an Odyssey, the Pilot, the third row seating of the Odyssey and Pilot, but would like the four-wheel drive of the Pilot and still have a lot more room for taller cargo inside a CRV compared to an Accord. ACE body structure, it stands for Advanced Compatibility Engineering. It allows the frame to be a lot higher as well as a lot lower in the vehicle, not just the bumper, but so that in the event of a collision with a smaller or bigger vehicle, because of where the frame is located, as very low and very high, it's meant to match up better in a front-end collision, so you don't run the risk of running over a smaller vehicle, and a bigger vehicle doesn't run the chance of running over you. It's a four-wheel drive system. There's an all-wheel drive system. There's always the 4x4 systems. There's the four-wheel drive systems. The all-wheel drive systems are always engaged. All four wheels are always going at all times, which means lower fuel efficiency. If you were to say get a flat tire on one of the tires, they suggest that you have to replace all four tires so that all the tires are balanced and they ride exactly the same. So the car doesn't shake, it's a much smoother ride in an all-wheel drive vehicle. The 4x4 systems, of course, are the ones that you see in trucks mostly, where you click it over into four-wheel drive. There's a four-wheel low, four-wheel high, and two-wheel drive factors. The four-wheel drive system, how it works, it drives primarily on the front wheels, let's say 90% of the time, and if at any point the front wheels lose traction at all, it engages the back wheels, and it actually varies the amount of power whether it goes to the front wheel or the back wheels. So anywhere from 100% to the front wheels, to 0% in the back wheels, to 30% in the front wheels, and 70% to the back wheels. So you have the power where you need it instead of it always being on. It's got the Honda's four-wheel drive system, as I said. It drives primarily on the front wheels and distributes power to the back wheels when necessary. It has four-wheel disc brakes. The SE trim level that just came out also comes with the alloy wheels. It also has electronic brake distribution on the vehicle itself. So based on how you're driving the vehicle and when you're pushing the brake will distribute the braking power between each individual wheel based on maximum stopping power. Most of the people driving the CRV, driving up the mountains in the CRV, don't have any problems going uphill, downhill. It also has the grade logic transmission, so that depending on the incline that you're climbing up in the CRV, will pick new shift points in the transmission, so you always get a good clean shift, good use of power instead of losing power between shifts. It's a very smart transmission. So the hatch opens upward. Very easy to open, very light as well, very well balanced. The spare tire comes in underneath the vehicle, not on the back of the hatch. Helps a little bit for visibility. It's not a full-size spare tire, but it's pretty close in terms of length. It's just not the same in width. All the tools and such are in there. The The hatch is very well balanced, so even if you were to just raise it past a certain point, it'll shut itself. Okay. The back seats, multiple seating functions. For cargo or for people, you can always lay the seats down, so you have a little bit. So you have more space, or if that isn't enough space, you can also tumble it forward and latch it on, so you get maximum cargo capacity. It's at about 73 cubic feet total cargo capacity, which is one of the highest in the category. It gets 21 to 27, 21 in the city, 27 on the highway. It's always rated a little bit lower when from what I've driven, going on extended trips, doing dealer trades and such. I've always seen getting about 28, 29 on the highway. Of course, you get power windows, power door locks, all the standard equipment that you would get for most vehicles. It's got a tilt and telescoping steering column. It's got stereo controls on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. It's got cruise control on the right. It's got a 6-disc CD changer in the SE trim level. It also has the rear privacy glass as well, where the back windows are tinted. It's got the auxiliary input, of course. It's got a collapsible center console where it actually folds down, so you can, if you're a woman, you can set your purse down next to you instead of putting it in the back seat or putting it in the passenger seat or trying to find a new place to put it. You can always just set it right down next to you. The auxiliary input and the power outlet are on the center console here. You got an additional power outlet here on the side underneath the shifter. They put the shifter up a little bit higher, so you got a little bit more of an open floor plan, if you will. Allows, it gives you a much larger feeling inside the vehicle. You have lots of headroom inside the vehicle itself. It's got the VSA system, the Vehicle Stability Assist, where it actually helps the vehicle go where you want it to go. And if, for instance, if you're driving on the highway, you hit a patch of ice and the car starts to swerve in any direction, it senses that you didn't tell the vehicle to do that, so it applies brake pressure and decreases a little bit of engine power to whichever, and applies brake pressure to whichever wheel needed to let that side drag a little bit so you go where you want to go instead of where the weight of the vehicle wants to go. So that's part of the reason why it's such a safe, secure vehicle in bad weather conditions. You get a lot in a small package, if you will. I mean, you get great fuel efficiency, very safe vehicle, four-wheel drive, very inexpensive, very reliable. It's what a lot of people are looking for in that kind of car.